Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Scattered Justice Hek and be putting it up against the Vaykor and the Kuva Hek. Now let's start by looking at the base stats of these weapons. Now what we're really looking at is the 10% crit chance and the 10% status per projectile of the regular Hek. Now when you compare that to the Vaykor Hek has a higher fire rate, a higher crit chance at 25%, but the same status per projectile and a slightly slower reload speed. But putting that up against the Kuva Hek, you can see that the Kuva Hek's damage doesn't even start to fall off to 15 to 30 meters. It also has punch through that matters a lot, and crit chance at 23% with a 2.1 times crit multiplier and 13.3 status per projectile. So this is the build we're running for the Scattered Justice Hek. Nothing special. These are mods that everybody should be able to get a hold of pretty easily. So as a shotgun, you don't want to be using this more than 15 meters away. As you can see, our pellet spread is pretty tight at 15 meters, but when you go beyond that to 30 meters, as you can see, our pellet spread is pretty much all over the place. So we're going to start with the level 80 test. We got some heavy gunners here and some corrupted bombards. And keep in mind that we are running corrosive. Bombards aren't necessarily weak to corrosive, but as you can see, the Scattered Justice Hek still does pretty good work anyway. Keep in mind this build refresh is mostly for newer players, because if you're an in-game player, I assume you're not using the Hek or any single target weapon. But moving on to the heavy gunners, as you can see, as long as you're hitting your headshots, the Scattered Justice Hek pretty much one-taps all these guys. So besides being a single target weapon, one of the main things that holds this weapon back is the fact that it only has 4 shots in the magazine. You will find yourself reloading more than shooting a lot of the time. But we're going to bump this up to level 155 and let's see how this weapon does. As you can see, at level 155, it takes a couple more shots to kill these guys. But to be honest, you really should not be using this weapon at level 155, but it's still something you can do. Also, let's keep in mind that corrupted bombards aren't necessarily weak to corrosive. But moving on to the corrupted heavy gunners, as you can see, as long as you're hitting your headshots, you go from one-tapping these guys to two-tapping. And keep in mind, because you are using that Scattered Justice mod, in actual combat you'll be filling up that Steel Meridian meter right above your ammo count, and every time that meter fills up, it does a burst of like gas damage or some shit. But yeah guys, this is the Scattered Justice Hek. We're gonna take this thing to the steel path. Skip ahead at the time indicated at the bottom of the screen if you want to just cut to the Vaykor. So right here on the steel path we are running Loki, because Loki isn't giving me any extra damage, so you can really see how the weapon performs without any additional damage buffs. And as you can see, the weapon still does work, but unfortunately you will spend almost as long reloading as you will shooting. But next we're going to move on to the Vaykor Hek. So this is the build we're running for the Vaykor Hek. I know some people are probably like, why are you still using prime point blank? And that's because the shotguns don't have access to a lot of the same damage mods that rifles do, so we are using prime point blank. But as you can see, the Vaykor Hek pretty much shreds through these bombards. And one thing you will notice with the Vaykor Hek as opposed to the Scattered Justice Hek is we spend a lot less time reloading. Now moving on to the corrupted heavy gunners, as you can see, it pretty much one-taps them, same as the Scattered Justice Hek at level 80. But one thing about the Vaykor Hek is that 8 shots in the mag. But next, we're going to be bumping this up to level 155 and seeing how the weapon performs. As you guys can see, the Vaykor Hek is still absolutely shredding these guys, even at level 155. Now, when we put this up against the Scattered Justice Hek, it does a lot of the same work, but because of the 8 shots in the magazine, you can put out a lot more DPS before you have to reload. Like, the extra 4 shots in the Vaykor Hek allow you to send a lot more firepower downrange. And thus, the Vaykor Hek can put out more DPS than the Scattered Justice Hek can, but mostly because of that extra 4 shots in the magazine. If it wasn't for that extra 4 shots, the damage increase over the Scattered Justice Hek would not be that great. So one might assume because of the 8 shots in the mag that the Vaykor has, that it can out DPS the Kuva Hek, but that can't be further from the truth, because what we have to remember is that 0.3 punch through that the Kuva Hek has. And so because the Kuva Hek has a little bit of punch through, we're going to mod for that, and we're going to use that to our advantage. So this is the build we're running on the Kuva Hek. As you can see, we are running Seeking Fury because Seeking Fury boosts our punch through from 0.3 to 1.5. And as you can see, as we shoot an enemy, the enemies behind them are going to be taking damage. But this thing absolutely shreds through the bombards. And as you can see, when we move on to the heavy gunners and we compare it to the Scattered Justice Hek, 1 shot and it not only kills the target, but it kills the guy behind him. So in a weird way, the Kuva Hek actually has a TTK on par or better than the Vaykor Hek. So we're going to be boosting this up to level 155, and we're not using the alt fire. This is just straight damage. And yeah, even at 155, this thing pretty much 2-taps these guys. And as you'll see when we move on to the heavy gunners and we compare it to the Vaykor Hek, the Kuva Hek actually has a TTK on par or better than the Vaykor Hek because of that punch through. So yeah, if you're an in-game player, I'm sure you already knew this, but the Kuva Hek is number 1, whereas the Vaykor Hek comes in 2nd and the Scattered Justice Hek comes in 3rd. I'm still improving my content and my video editing, guys, but if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. And please like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. And for more damage comparison videos and other Warframe content, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Tenno, prepare for life support.